The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is the peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Head over to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And we're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. 15% off everything when you use promo code playoffs. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain real. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Man, Patrick Mahomes is to the Buffalo Bills as LeBron James is to the Raptors. Just can't get over the hump. Can't get over the hump. They went on national TV, on this national TV, and said that the fans was gonna be the reason they win the game this time. Do you believe that Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT now? I know this is an NBA show, but I just had to talk about GOAT Mahomes for a second. Scott, Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, overall doing pretty well. A fun weekend with the NFL. I think I got basically every game right. Looking at the graphic that we do for the lock dog and the tees, I swept it, so that was nice. Had the Chiefs to win by 1 to 13 points at plus 175, which was nice.
Thank you for making us 500. Appreciate you.
Feels good. But in general, I do think the NBA was pretty, I don't want to say an afterthought over the weekend, but it was kind of forgotten just because everyone was focused so much on the playoffs, which is what's going to happen over the weekend. But I ended up splitting my lock and dog picks. Embiid assist under got there against Orlando. Wasn't even close. I think he had 3, so that was plus money. And then Vassell shot the ball well, just didn't shoot enough. So unfortunately, he went under. But yeah, can't complain. Fun weekend in sports, in a bunch of different sports, even Australian Open tennis. So overall, looking forward to the games today.
Yeah, and I didn't write down my picks last time. What I have?
I'm trying to remember what you had.
Oh, I had the Spurs. I knew I took the Spurs. I was going back and forth between Spurs and Hawks, and I ended up taking Spurs. And man, the Hawks, man. You gotta get why is everybody assuming DeJounte is the one out the door? Why is everybody assuming DeJounte is the one out the door?
I'm assuming people are assuming it because DeJounte would require less assets to acquire. I'm assuming that's why people assume as much.
That's
probably why. I know you had Jokic points and he flew over. So
yeah, Jokic. Jokic, rather easy. He had what 20? I think he had 24, 25 in the first half. Rather easy. But I just think that this is hilarious. Is DeJounte? Watch they pull a fast one. They're gonna pull a fast one, and then it's gonna be Trae Young in the last second, and Trae Young's gonna be the one out the door.
My stance on Trae is pretty well documented on the show. I think he's a good stats player that's not exactly a winning basketball player. I've said it several times. I know they made the Eastern Conference Finals. I get it. Several years ago. You can argue that was fluky or not, whatever. Point is, I don't think Trae can be the best player on a championship team. I'm a firm believer of that. I think he would be potentially the second best player, maybe, but he can't guard anybody. And his shot selection isn't that great. So there's some flaws to his game, which he's never going to address. And that's kind of the issue that runs with the team that has him as your number one option. So I'll leave it there.
Hey, man. Is Trae going to be out the door?
I'm assuming you agree with that statement, though. Like, Trae, of course, is a very talented player, but when it comes to winning, he can't be your number one option if you want to be a serious contender.
Yeah, I've since changed my stance into leaning more of he's probably not a good number one. I thought he could be, and I thought his development would get there, and I thought that, over time, a lot of the moves that the Hawks have made would get him there, but it just hasn't matriculated. And so at some point, you just got to realize, all right, man, we did the Luka Trae Young trade, and we could see that Luka's clearly the alpha on his team. Maybe Trae isn't supposed to be the alpha of this team. maybe we need to look somewhere else. Pretty disappointed in Trae Young's career thus far, if I do say so myself. However, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I think we have
7, 8. 8 games on the slate today. Wait, I gotta start here because did you see this game over the weekend? The Milwaukee Bucks are on the road going to play the Detroit Pistons. Bucks are laying 12, opened up at 12.5, currently sitting at minus 12. 247 is the total injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis is probable with the shoulder. And for the Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham is doubtful. That's actually an upgrade for him, but he's still not playing this game. He's almost ready to come back, though. Isaiah Stewart's questionable, and Monty Morris is doubtful. That's an upgrade for him as well, but not expected to be able to come back in this game. These two teams played Saturday. Was that game?
I believe so. It was either Saturday or Sunday, but the game was a lot of fun.
It was Saturday.
Yep.
The Bucks were laying 13.5. The total was 245.5. This is when it all closed. The Bucks got a 45 piece from Dame.
And
they got a near and 11 assists. Yes, you're right. And 11 assists. A near triple-double and 30 points from Giannis. And they only beat the Pistons by 6, 144 to 135. Alec Burks had 33 points.
I'm assuming you're not going to be laying 12.5 with Milwaukee in this game.
I kind of want to lay it because it's kind of like, how do you replicate that game? How do you replicate that fold of a game? 45 and 30 from your stars?
Lopez, by the way, had 19 and 10 in that game as well. But
they could have lost the game.
That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Like, I love the over, obviously, because Milwaukee doesn't guard anybody, and we know Detroit isn't good enough to actually guard anybody. Detroit sucks, but I mean, at the end of the day, Milwaukee, I don't think is good enough to be laying points. And we've seen them in a favorite role. They have an issue covering in the past, and it's because, once again, they give up 135 to Detroit, and Alec Burks shows up and hits 7 threes off the bench. So I think I have to lean to Detroit. Like, I know it's not going to be pretty. Milwaukee could kill them, but I think I feel better about the team totals in this game because I don't see any defense being played. But I just don't believe that Giannis is 1 assist away from a triple-double with 31 points. Lillard gives you 45 and 11. Lopez gives you 19 and 10. You still only win by 6.
But Scott, oh man, oh my gosh, I almost choked. But Scott, do you hear how crazy that sounds? How do you replicate that? Like, if you're the Pistons, how do you replicate a game where you gave up all of that? You gave that up to Dame. Yeah. You gave that up to Giannis. How do you replicate that and find a way to still be in the game? Like, how do you replicate that?
I think the counter argument. I think the counter argument would be they're not going to shoot that well from the floor again. That Milwaukee's going to regress automatically. They're not going to be getting 45 and 11 from Dame with a borderline triple double from Giannis and a Lopez double double in the same game. At least I hope for Detroit's sake they don't give that up in back-to-back games. The point is Detroit though kind of BS their way to 135 points. That's how I'm looking at it. I just don't think Milwaukee guards enough to actually.
No, man, I'm taking Milwaukee. I'm going to take Milwaukee.
I'm going to lean Detroit.
This is disgusting.
I can't.
I know Milwaukee's terrible against the spread. I know we shouldn't be doing this. I feel like this is the game Milwaukee just comes out. It just rolls over this team because I just don't understand how Detroit was able to keep themselves in that game. And it was really because of Alec Burks. And so I just have to assume that after Milwaukee had that deathly scare of almost losing to the Pistons, that they bounce back and they absolutely beat the crap out of them and they get out of there early. Yeah.
You might be right. But once again, I just can't lay 12.5 with a team
that's this bad defensively. I gotta respect the deja vu game. We respect the deja vu game, and we take the other side. Respect the deja vu game. Take the other side, and because of that, I will take the under because I'm also going to fade all those points happening again.
I'm just going to lean over.
They're going to struggle to score this time.
I don't think either team can stop anybody, so I'm just going to go with the over. Give me the pace. Give me, especially with Ivy now being the main ball handler on this team. Congrats.
So you think this is going to happen exactly like the first game?
No, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to land 270 something, but I just think the regression's not going to be enough to send this under. Let's just say you're right. Let's say Milwaukee ends up winning this game comfortably. What are they scoring? 130, 135?
Yeah, but is Detroit guaranteed to go score 120 again? No.
I think they got a shot at it with Milwaukee's bad defense. I'll just fade both bad defenses in the spot. That's how I'm looking at it.
I'm gonna fade a really bad team in Detroit. I'm
Okay.
gonna fade a bad team in Detroit. All right, player props.
Are we just running back Burks threes? Like, do you just trust the guy who's been
I mean,
kind
he's
of on
gonna
a
shoot
massive
about
heater?
20 on. He probably gonna
Yeah,
shoot
pretty
20
much.
on. He's got
Get
at this point
14
his
threes
confidence.
off the bench. 14
At
off
this
the
point,
bench, man.
his confidence is now gonna. It's too much at this point, and so he's probably not gonna hit majority of them. But if he takes another 14, we're probably good with four. Good for 4 or 5. Like we're probably still good for 4.
I'm trying to think what the pivot is, though, because Ivy had a pretty decent game with 18, 6, and 6. So you can probably look for maybe a PRA with him if you think if it stays the
I'm
same.
going. I'm going
I
bogey.
think I like Boyan in this
I'm
game.
going
Like, he
bogey.
went 5 for 15 in the first game, but he also still finished with 19 points. I think Boyan's probably a good buy low candidate for a solid game.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. If
And
I
for
had to pick one,
Milwaukee, I mean, you can pick whoever you want. I mean, just whatever you
yeah,
want,
just say Giannis.
probably.
Yeah, that's how I feel. All right. Let's see here. Before we get to the next game, it's like, gotta talk to you about Underdog Fantasy with the Pick'em Scorchers. Pick your favorite players' fantasy stats, and you can play alongside them all season long. Doesn't matter if you're in a season-long fantasy league. You can do it night in, night out, and have a chance to win some cash too. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, college football. Just simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats. And with the spicy plays, you can win up to 100x. 100 times the money you put in. Why would you not tap into that? So watch along, make your picks, and win a little cash with Underdog Fantasy's mobile app, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up, when you use promo code SGPN, when you sign up, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. When you sign up and use promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. All right, let's keep it moving. Next game on the slate, we have the San Antonio Spurs going to play the Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers are laying 14.5 currently. 237 is the total here. Injury report for these two teams. And we have for the San Antonio Spurs, Zach Collins, questionable. Sissoko, TBD, yeah, no, none of that matters. Just Zach Collins, questionable. And for the 76ers, you have Patrick Beverly, probable, Jake Springer, questionable, Mo Bamba, questionable, no D'Anthony Melton still, no Robert Covington, whatever that's worth at this point.
It's going to be really funny watching Wembanyama try to guard Embiid. It's going to be really fun no matter which way it goes.
So my question here is, and this basically decides on which side of the game you're going to pick. Does Joel Embiid play 4 quarters?
I think he's probably going to play 3.5. If I had to guess, I think he plays 3.5. I think he's going for 40 tonight. So I think that he's just going to have a big game. I don't know how Wemby's supposed to stop him. I mean, trying to think of the weight difference between the two guys. How does Embiid not just put Victor in the rim? Like, I don't know how Victor's going to handle a back down. Like, I don't know what he's supposed to do. He's giving up what, like 70 pounds, 80 pounds? I don't know what he's supposed to do. You know what he's supposed to do? They're just going to double.
I really think JoJo can shoot over him too. Like, I think he can shoot over him in the mid range. Like, I really don't. I am really excited to see this matchup again.
It's going to be fun. Now, I know Victor's had some pretty big games recently, stats-wise. He's been solid on national TV before. So I'm not sure if Embiid's going to stop him because we know Victor's got the height over him. So Victor points might be worth a look. But you're looking at just so many weapons that Philly has, and the Spurs have nothing. I mean, they have a Sell, who we think solid. Besides that, though, we think Sand might be a double agent who's there to promote the tank. So we don't know if, he's going to play a bunch of minutes or not. But Trey Jones trying to guard Maxey. All right, have fun. Oubre, I think, can give the Spurs some problems with him shooting, and he has some length. Tobias is pretty good as a third or fourth option on a team. I don't know. I just think Philly at home, I have a hard time going against Philly at home. The Spurs have been so bad on the road that I just think if Philly wants to and if they care, they're going to win this game by 20. So if they want to show up and they actually choose to, as you said before, kind of give Embiid a full workload, I don't really see how the Spurs are supposed to stop this team from scoring. So I'm going to go with the 76ers in this game.
Yeah. I want to make the case for the Spurs, but I really don't think Joel Embiid's playing 4 quarters today. I don't think he's playing 4 quarters today, man. I think, man, it sucks. Two double digit spreads to start the game, and I'm feeling chalk both ways. Do not like that. Do not
I'll ask you
like
this,
that.
though. Do you
But
feel better getting the points with the Pistons or the Spurs? If you had to choose between the two.
if I had to choose between the two, I would feel better about the Pistons because Milwaukee's defense is atrocious.
That's how I feel.
I would feel
So,
way better. So I think that there is a possibility that the San Antonio Spurs can't score today.
Sixers have also won five straight. They've been in good form. They kind of no-showed or half no-showed that Charlotte game, which was really
Yeah.
low scoring for some reason, but they still won by 8. I just think if they show up at home, 16-6 at home, straight up, Spurs are atrocious on the road. I think I got to go with the Sixers here.
Spurs slightly better ATS on the road, 11-12. So I
Okay.
know they only got 5 wins, but 11-12, that's like pretty solid for them. So still, I don't care. Take it, Philly. National Blowout Association in this one. All right.
Yep.
237 props. Anything else you like in here?
I mean, I feel like we both think the Spurs might struggle scoring today. So I actually don't mind maybe the Spurs team total under in this game. Philly could score 130. It wouldn't shock me. We know the Spurs can't guard anyone, but I mean, they scored 98 against the Celtics and 99 against the Hawks. They've had a couple of high-scoring games here and there, but I think Philly's defense is solid. So I'm probably leaning to Spurs team total under. You?
Yeah. Yeah. I think honestly, like if it's anybody I think is gonna have a good day today, it's probably Wemby, to be honest.
Yeah. I think
Because
Victor is the only guy that I actually trust on that team for a good spot. Because even Vassell, like the Sixers have a couple of wing defenders they can use on him. So
and he just kind of gets up for
TV
quote
games.
unquote big games. Yeah, like these big games. I mean, you kind of look at what he's done recently against the, the more larger market teams, the big teams of the league, the heavy hitters, and he put up 27 against Boston. He 21 against Boston the time before that. He put up 27 against Milwaukee. He put up 30 against the Lakers. Like it kind of feels like, whenever he gets the opportunity, he just kind of rises to the occasion. So why would I not think he does that here, especially against Joel, who's probably not going to care on the defensive end at any point anyway. So yeah, I think Wemby has a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think he does too. And his minutes have gone up recently, so he might get a bit more run.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Anything else prop-wise you like?
No, not really. We mentioned Wemby before. I mean, I'm blindly tempted by Sohan unders because I just think that he's not a good basketball player, but he's played well recently, I guess. Just looking around, no, I don't really have much. I think that anybody on the Sixers can score, so maybe if you think there's a blowout, you might want to take some unders, but I don't really see much.
All right. Let's see here. Next game on the slate, we have. Oh wow, I got lost. There we go. Cleveland Cavaliers, 7-game win streak. By the way, Cleveland Cavaliers going up on the road against the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic open up -2. Cavs are currently -1.5. Actually, 215.5 is total here. Injury report, and we have Gary Harris is TBD for the Orlando Magic. They did play yesterday in a rout of the Miami Heat at home. I think the starters barely played 30 minutes. Barely. I think Wendell Carter had 34, but that was the most of anybody on the team. And for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Karis LeVert's questionable with that wrist injury. Darius Garland injured. Evan Mobley, you already know what's going on here. All right.
It's a fun matchup. Really fun matchup. And Orlando did get Franz back last game, so they are basically full strength.
Yeah.
Cleveland's been rolling. It's a short number. We know Orlando's good at home. They're on a back-to-back, but they kind of blew out the Heat last night, so they are.
It was like they didn't
even.
even. Yeah, it was a bunch of role players that was getting some minutes at that point. They really dominated that game in the second half.
I'm assuming you're going to lean to Cleveland because this team's been rolling.
No, when have I ever really felt good about this Cleveland team? I'm
going to give them props. They've been piecing it together recently. I'll give them some props. They've been without a lot of guys, and they could have rolled over, but they've been good recently. I'll give props to Cleveland.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm
So
on
you're on
Orlando.
Orlando at home.
Yeah, I think I'm on Orlando. I'm kind of concerned about the back-to-back angle. They're 4-4 ATS this season off of back-to-back. I don't
I
like that.
believe the Cavs are 6-2 ATS with a rest advantage, which is the case in this game. But I mean, the question is, do you think that Orlando? Well, I'll ask you this: which offense do you think is going to generate more success? Because both teams defensively have been good lately. We know Orlando kind of prides itself on its defense, and with Suggs and Fultz back in the lineup, they can really clamp down defensively. And I guess the question that I have for you is, can Cleveland survive even a mediocre game from Donovan Mitchell? Like, how good of a game does Mitchell need to have in order for them to win?
I think they're actually a little bit more self-sufficient now that I look at
Okay.
them. I think they're a little. They don't have to have an amazing game by Donovan Mitchell. He can come in there and give like 20, I think 20, 25, and they can still try to find a way to win games. Just with how good Jared Allen's been playing recently, with having players like Niang coming off the bench, being able to be a flamethrower. And they found themselves from three. Like for years, they could not buy a 3-point shot. And so now they kind of found themselves a little bit from three. Max Strus has been hitting threes, Karis LeVert. I said Niang. So I'm actually kind of buying in a little bit more on this Cleveland team.
I think that this
There's a good
first,
question in the chat, though. Do you think Franz Wagner sits on the back-to-back?
for the record, by the way, when we're talking about the 3-point shooting, Strus has objectively been horrible from just from the floor this season. He's been terrible, but he stretches the floor. I guess. I mean, he's shooting 33% from three, basically, and he's shooting 40% from the floor. So he's actually been objectively bad in general. But Niang's been pretty fine off the bench. Merrill was a good find for them. They have some options, but yeah, Strus has been really bad. But he's also been banged up, so we'll see what happens. But either way, I think I'm going to lean to the Cavs in this spot. I think I just trust them more late game offensively. I'm hoping Franz coming back helps them with that. But the Magic in the fourth quarter are still not a great offensive team. And I do think this game's going to be close. I see this being a very close game, a very fun game. I'm kind of going to link to the under, actually. I really see a grind. I think it's going to be a very ugly half-court battle. And with that being the case, I just think I trust Cleveland's late game offense more than Orlando's. So I'm going to lean to Cleveland. I don't feel great about it. Should be a very fun game. But I am going to lean to Cleveland because I just like them in the form that they've been in.
I'm with you on under. This feels like this is going to profile as a slower paced, grinded out. Every possession really is going to matter for both of these teams on a game, especially because the Magic in the past 5 games are still dead last in terms of pace in the league. And they're at home. I expect them to try to control the pace a little bit. We'll see if Cleveland tries to run the floor a little bit more and get them off of their rhythm. But I think this is a little bit more of a slower pace game, better defensive game. Magic been pretty solid defensively over the course of the year. If Wagner plays again, that's just going to help them out with the length. Cleveland over the past 5 games, second rated defense in the entire league, 99.6 points per game. Only team better than them is, not surprisingly, the New York Knicks. And so Orlando's 6th in the NBA during that span as well, 104.6. I think the under is really where I would play. I don't even think I want to take a chance on the side because, like you said, I think this is a really close game and either team can win. Just depends on, how the chips fall at the end. But that under feels pretty good going under the total of 215.5 here. Player props, what do you like?
Well, if we're going to both be on the under, I got to like rebounds. So I'll take Jared Allen rebounds in this game. Been very good lately, and I'm looking forward to seeing him match up against either Carter or Batadze. We'll see what happens. But Allen, once again, it was a question mentioned in the chat by Joel, who asked who's scoring the points because it can't all be Mitchell. You're right, but Allen's actually been good offensively recently. So we'll see if, he can keep it rolling. We'll see what happens. But I do think Jared Allen rebounds is definitely tempting in this game since he's been great. He's gone over in 8 of the last 10. I know Orlando historically has done a pretty good job of keeping him off the boards, but that was with, Mobley, and that was with some of the other guys that were healthy. Not the case anymore. I think I'm going to lean to Allen rebounds over. We think it's going to be a rock fight potentially. So give me the rebounds over.
So Wendell Carter started yesterday. Does he get to start again today?
I think he should. They blew up Miami. I don't know why you'd switch it up again.
They were
plus struggling
450. Plus 450 for a double-double in this game, where I expect it to be low scoring, better defense, more rebound opportunities. I think he can have opportunities on the inside. I definitely like the rebounds ladder for Wendell Carter Jr., especially if you're telling me he's going to be the starter today. It's at 6.5 at -125. You can get him up to 10 at +320. I think you play Allen. I think you play Carter. I think both of those are really good opportunity.
I guess my question though, if you want another prop though, if you're looking at Mitchell's points, by the way, if you are tempted by Mitchell, I actually like his assists under in this game. It's at 7.5. It is juiced. It's like -140. The Magic are allowing the fewest assists per game in the league. I mentioned that on Friday when I took the Embiid under. But you're looking at Mitchell's recent assists, and they've been fine, I guess. I mean, he's gone under in 16 of the last 20 games. It's at 7.5. That line feels massive. I'll take the Mitchell under in assists. 7.5 is too big.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Next, before we get to the next game of the slate, got to talk to you about Cut, the peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. And look, it's a new, better way to bet. If you've been checking out online, Real Money Kramer is out there giving out a whole bunch of lines. Actually, Scott, they had a line up today on Cut. I saw it where you can get plus money on if Sean McDermott will be fired by February 11th.
Yeah,
Plus money.
I think he should.
I mean, why? Well, I don't think he should because I think that there's also not enough blame going to Josh Allen. But
Look, all I know is Allen, if you want to blame him no matter what, I'm not going to get into a full-on thing during the ad read, but he's still a top 4 quarterback in the league. McDermott, I don't think is objectively that good. I think he's a high floor, low ceiling coach, and that fake punt was atrocious. So I think that McDermott has made some questionable decisions in games. Maybe just the way his team's wired. I don't think his team is that tough mentally. I think they're more of a finesse team, and I think that comes down to coaching. So I personally blame McDermott more. You can argue Allen needs to be better, but he's still a very good quarterback. So I blame McDermott.
The ball was in his hands, and they didn't win the game. It was all this time of they've always given Pat Mahomes the ball back, and they lost the game. This time, the ball was in his hands. They didn't win the game. And you know what? I hope McDermott gets fired so that he can get this new hotshot head coach in, and then they have the same result of losing to Patrick Mahomes.
Once again, Mahomes in a league of his own. I get that there's some blame to Allen, but I do think at the end of the day, it's been coaching issues for most of his career. So I think McDermott's just not very good. I think this is the ceiling with McDermott. They're going to lose to Kansas City every time. That's what's going to happen. I think you got to try something new.
They're never gonna win, man. Just trying to tell you, Patrick Mahomes is making sure people out here don't get rings.
I want to know, though, how long was Diggs on the field looking at the Chiefs celebrating after the game when he put up 21 receiving yards?
Man, he was probably out there all night. He's probably still on the field, if we're being honest. So, hey, y'all should make sure that you tap in the Cut and get into those will McDermott get fired odds. Plus money? You can't get that anywhere else. Peer-to-peer, you don't have to worry about trying to chase anybody down for the payment. Cut handles all of that. So, head over to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research everything from the NFL, NBA, and soccer with historical stats and data. Plus, you can have any parlay idea you want, and just put it into the revolutionary parlay optimizer tool. And I mean, I hope you put Chiefs money line in there last night. It was,
No. 1 to 13.
There.
You got an extra like 40 cents. 1 to 13.
Yep. Oh yeah, you did do the 1 to 13, Scott. Smart. Forgot. Like I wasn't even thinking that. I just did Chiefs -2.5. I did Chiefs.
That game screams painful loss for Buffalo the entire week for me. So I'm like, all right, just give me 1 to 13. Like
there was no point where I was ever concerned of the Chiefs losing the game. Even when Josh Allen was driving down the field, even when they got the big play and they were on the Chiefs side of the field, there was no point I was ever concerned that the Chiefs were going to lose that game. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. And just so everybody knows, the SGPN merch store, 15% off everything in the merch store until the end of the month. Promo code playoffs. We're competing against other shows and we need that bonus. So make sure you go out there and you get some of that SGPN NBA gambling podcast gear. Make sure you get our show gear so we can get those points. 15% off everything in the merch store, promo code playoffs. Yes, Mahomes has not lost that game. He has not lost to the Bills in the playoffs. He has not. It
He's
is.
only
It
lost to
is.
Brady.
It is
He's
a
beaten everybody else.
analytics
He's only
play.
lost to Brady. That's it. I'm not
Yeah,
joking.
it's
He's
only
only
lost
lost
to
to
Brady.
Brady. That's
Hey
it.
man, hey man. We'll see what Lamar can do, man. Lamar's my guy too. I'm happy. Whoever wins, I'm happy. Lamar's my
It's such
guy.
a good matchup,
But
though. I'm so pumped for that
Goat
matchup.
Mahomes, Goat Mahomes, he gets it done. Continues to get it done. All right, let's keep moving on to the NBA. It's so hard not to talk about football. Okay.
We'll do it later in the week. We actually got to sign that
Yeah,
game, by the way. We're
we
doing the
have
AFC
that
title
game.
game.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
we have
that
that
game.
game.
Everybody that wants to hear the AFC Championship breakdown on the NFL Gambling Podcast, me and Scott do have that game this week. So DFS, first touchdown, prop bets, all of that. It's gonna be good. All right. Memphis Grizzlies on the road going to play Toronto Raptors. Toronto opened up -6.5. They're currently laying 7. 225.5 is the total injury report for these two teams, and I have for the Memphis Grizzlies. Holy shit.
The whole team's
Oh
still
no!
dead.
Oh
I
no!
mean,
It
nothing's
looks
going to
it looks
change.
worse than what it is. We already know most of this. It looks worse than what it is. Okay, Xavier Tillman is questionable. Desmond Bain, Jake LaRuvia, Marcus Smart, Derrick Rose, Brendan Clark, John Morant, Steven Adams, all not playing. Jakob Poeltl is not playing for the Toronto Raptors. They will have everybody else at their disposal. Jonte Porter still in the starting lineup. I kind of like him, actually, to be honest. All right.
I don't know about you. I'm not laying 7.5 with Toronto.
What?
I've said it
Really?
for weeks. I think Toronto is a fun but not good team. I think that they're entertaining. They're not very good. Just watching them play. They can't guard, they don't really guard anybody. I just have questions about how the team is structured hierarchy-wise. Is Barnes the main guy now? Is Quickly the main guy because he handles the ball all the time? What's Barrett's role with this team? They don't really have a hierarchy of, oh, this guy is going to take most of the shots. This guy is going to be second. This guy's going to be third. And I feel like there's some clash there where these guys kind of take turns thinking it's my time to shine, and there's no cohesion with this unit. Defensively, they're a mess. They don't have a center, so they're trying to figure it out. Memphis has been a team that's been banged up all year long, but at least they've been trying. At least I know the effort level is going to be there. You were kind of hoping that Barnes, once they traded Siakam, would take the leap. You were hoping that Barnes would take a leap, and he just hasn't done it. And you're kind of hoping that, Siakam's gone. You clear room for more shots for Barnes. Maybe he goes back to what he did early this season, and he just hasn't done it. And Barrett and Quickly still think that they need to get X amount of shots up. And it feels like there's some chemistry issues. So I'm going to link to Memphis because even though this team's bad, at least they're used to the roster they have right now because it's been this roster for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they've been decent. They're not good, but they're getting 7.5. Toronto's been getting buried recently. Played the Knicks, lost by 26. Played Chicago, lost by 6. Killed Miami. Miami's falling apart. Lost to Boston. lost to Utah by 32. I mean, you can just go down the line here. Like these teams have been bad recently, so it's kind of a toilet bowl. It's a hidden toilet bowl. I'll take the points. 7.5, massive. I'm assuming you're leaning Toronto because you were shocked I was taking Minnesota. I was taking Memphis.
I was shocked at how easy you made it sound like you were taking Memphis.
I just don't want to lay 7.5.
I don't like either. I don't like either. I don't like laying Toronto, but I actually don't like Memphis at all. They haven't been able to score recently, like at all. Literally have not been able to score. You look at 96 to that Bulls team, 103 to Minnesota. You got, that 116 win to Golden State. That was a get up spot. Like, they always get up for Golden State. Then the Knicks 94 points. And then they got that 119 back there hanging out with the Clippers, but they kind of get up for playing for the Clippers too a little bit. I mean,
I didn't even mention Trent,
what is this?
by the way.
Does this
Matthew's thrown it out there. Trent's also taking 15 shots a game. Trent's also taking 15 shots. I don't know who everyone wants to shoot on this team. There's just a lack of, once again, hierarchy and overall system. So I have to lean to the team getting points. But if you have a matchup between two teams that I don't want to bet on, I'll take the points. At least you're giving me some leeway.
I mean, I guess I'll take the points. I really don't feel good about it either way. Just give me the under, man. Neither one of these teams can score.
Should we play the drop for this game or no?
No, it's too
I
many
think
wins.
I think it's a closet toilet.
Where are we at in the season? No, it's too many wins at this point in the season. Memphis still has 15 wins. They have 16 wins. It's too many for it to be a toilet bowl.
Okay, I'm just saying. I don't think
It's
these teams are
borderline
good,
though. It's
so.
borderline. It's pretty borderline, and
It's
I
a
think it's the
urinal game?
injuries make
Are you
it
calling it a
worse.
urinal game? That's where this is going?
A urinal.
It's a urinal game? It's not a
It's
full
an
toilet, but it's
outhouse.
a
It's
urinal.
an outhouse game.
It's an outhouse game. That's what we're going to call it now. Between two teams that are not playoff teams, but not total basement, it's an outhouse game. That's what we're going to
Yeah,
call
it's
it.
an outhouse game. All right. Okay, here. Yeah, I'm taking that under, man. I really don't think because Memphis just actually cannot score. It's not even they just
It's not
don't
their
have
fault.
scores.
The
Yeah,
entire
it's not
team
their
is
fault.
bad.
They
It's
just
not their
truly
fault.
cannot score. That's really not their fault. But Toronto, they can score. They're just doing a really bad job of it.
Yeah.
So,
Once again, they
and I think
can't divide
Memphis
up
is
the
solid
shots.
defensively.
They can't divide up the shots. They got a lot of me guys on the team. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it. Just acknowledging when you get together a bunch of guys either with trades at the last minute. Bruce Brown now is on the team. We'll see if he gets any shots up. But you get my point. They have a lot of guys, and I feel like everyone on the roster knows they're in the middle of a transition year where they're in the middle of blowing up the roster. They're going to trade more people. Like they're just going to. It is what it is. So yeah, I feel like they're kind of stuck in no man's land because nobody knows what their job security is on the team. So I just think you might see chaos. So I'll lean once again to Memphis.
Porta potty game, outhouse game. It's an ugly one.
Outhouse
All right.
game's a good one though. That's a good name for this.
If anybody scores in this game, who's going to do it? Somebody's got to score.
Jaren Jackson's
Somebody's
going to
gonna score.
chuck up 30 shots. So I'll probably lean to Jackson points because who else is going to shoot on this team? I like Kennard under. I gave that out on YouTube actually. I like Kennard under 14.5. That was my daily pick. That line's massive for Kennard. He doesn't shoot enough. I mean, even with all the injuries, he's shooting about 9 times a game. He doesn't get to the line. He's attempted less than 2 free throws in 8 of the last 9 games. So if he's not going to go to the line and he only shoots 3-pointers and he only attempts basically 9 shots, he has to shoot what? Like 6 of 9 from the floor? Like 5 of 11? Like you need a pretty high field goal percentage there. I think Kennard's number is too high. I like the under.
Let's see. Toronto struggles at scoring inside the paint. I mean, well, stopping anybody from scoring inside the paint. Horribly bad at it over the past 5 games. Bottom 5 in the NBA. That bodes well for one Jaren Jackson Jr., as you said. I think that bodes well for Vince Williams as well. Being able to slash and get inside the lane. Being able to score. I think I like Vince over 12.5. He might be able to try to do something today. For Toronto, I don't know. It's really a dartboard sometimes. Sometimes it depends on who wants to take the most shots that night.
I like quickly assists. He's got the ball in his hands more often than not, so I guess I'm going to lean that direction. So once again, everyone on Toronto wants to shoot. No, they play basketball like it's a planet, like it's what is it? A Planet Fitness, Planet Hollywood. What's the where do most people get the run at? What's the name of the gym though? I'm like merging the two names.
Yeah, Planet Fitness. I mean, it's a Planet Fitness and it's a Planet Hollywood.
That's why I'm confused. Which one's the one that people make the jokes
gym,
about?
The gym is Planet Fitness, but it's more of the YMCA. You go to the YMCA and you don't really. I can't think of a Planet Fitness that has a basketball gym, and if so, that's a pretty big Planet Fitness.
Either way, point is everyone wants the ball, they want to get theirs, and there's just no movement or cohesion. So I'm not going to lay points with them.
I think.
Okay, so yeah, so it's apparently it's Planet Fitness. Okay, so they play like it's a Planet Fitness pickup game. That's how Toronto plays basketball.
Planet Hollywood is where Sean and Ryan took me in Vegas, ain't it? I'm pretty sure that's where they took me in Vegas, Planet Hollywood, or something like that. All right. Charlotte Hornets on the road.
It was LA Fitness. That was it. It was LA Fitness. Okay, my bad. That's where I'm confusing the stuff.
Fitness.
Okay, it's LA Fitness. My bad. Yeah, I was merging fitness and planets and whatever. It was LA Fitness. That was the gym I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm like, you're talking about casinos, and I'm like, we're talking about everything but basketball.
Yeah, I meant LA Fitness. That was what I was referring to. Sorry.
Planet Hollywood. I miss Vegas. I gotta get back to Vegas.
So do I. We need to go out there for the NBA show. It's been like a couple of years.
Yeah, it has. Maybe playoffs. Playoffs would be good. I'd try to go for All-Star, but that's too quick. We should have talked about it a long time ago. All right. Where are we at? Charlotte Hornets on the road going to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. Hornets opened up catching 15.5. They're now down to 14.5. Wow, believe it or not. 218.5 is total here. Injury report. LaMelo's questionable. Nick Richards is questionable. No Gordon Hayward. No Mark Williams. Mark Williams actually had a setback. And we have clean injury report for the Timberwolves. And we also have the Hornets, who are basically saying everybody's up for sale except LaMelo, Brandon Miller, and I think they said Mark Williams.
I think I just stumbled on a great gym idea while talking with the chat, but I'll worry about that later. It's a great idea. But anyway, back to the game. Do you want to lay 14.5 with Minnesota?
I kind of don't.
I don't either.
I wanted
They
to
did a good
pick.
job
I
on
wanted to
Embiid.
pick one of these games.
Gave him
I wanted to
97
pick one of these
points.
games.
You know,
Yeah.
they held Philly in check. It wasn't that bad defensively over the weekend.
How do I? So this is what everybody's thinking when they see this game. They're thinking of the automatic bounce back because you just lost that game to OKC. You were rolling before that. It was a close game. You were really in it, and that was really like one of the games to kind of decide, hey, who's really top of the West right now? Like, who's actually the best team in the West right now? Because you see Minnesota and OKC up there, but people throw out Denver as well, Clippers, like it's
Denver.
all these other things. And
They went into Boston and they beat the Celtics with a healthy roster over the weekend. I think it's just Denver.
Scott, you were just talking about how bad that team sucks on the road. They beat Boston, and it's Boston.
No.
Of course,
My
Boston
point is they went
it.
into a hostile environment where a team was 20-0 and they won against a healthy roster. Like I think Denver is the best team in the West. I thought they were the best team in the West before the Celtics game, but once again, maybe it's a bit of a wrestling cliche. In order to be the champion, you got to beat the champion. But who are you picking in a 7-game series? You picking the Clippers? Clippers are probably the second best team in the West. I think it's between those two.
I don't
teams.
know. I think I'm picking the Clippers.
Okay,
they're deeper. They're a deeper team. That's good.
And
the road woes.
So.
And the road woes are terrible. So you're telling me that if Clippers can steal one in Denver, yeah, I would take the Clippers. If you gave me that, I would take the Clippers because I'm probably going to get the Clippers at a plus money price too. So
I think you can agree right now that out of the entire West, you can argue that Denver and the Clippers might be up here, and then you have OKC and Minnesota like slightly below them. Would you agree with that with the tier system? Probably.
No, I actually have OKC number 1.
You have OKC at 1. Okay.
No, I think the Clippers can beat Denver, but I have OKC at 1.
I think Jokic in a 7-game series against OKC would average about 38, 15, and 12. So I think Denver would just win.
And we'll see if they win because Shea is going to go in there and average 35. So we'll see if they win. We'll see if they win. I agree. 100%. I'm with you. We're going to get the Shea playoff run that we deserve this year. We're going to.
I hope we do. I've been waiting for it.
It's going to happen. I don't have to hope. I know it's going to happen.
If the Clippers stayed healthy, I'd probably agree with you. But there's too many injury concerns. We'll see what happens. But they've been healthy recently.
We'll see. Denver's really bad on the road. Really, really bad on the road this year. Yeah, I'm not going to let one game against Boston change that.
Just saying, you beat a 20-0 team at home. I'm going to give you a bit more respect.
Why are we talking about them? We're supposed to be talking about Charlotte and Minnesota.
Well, you mentioned Minnesota being like one of the contenders in the West. I don't see them that way. That was where it was going. I don't think Minnesota is that team.
Was that what I said? No, I was just saying it was a battle of the top 2 seeds.
I thought it might have been connection because Minnesota lost to OKC in the last game. And that
no, I wasn't making a connection. I was just pointing out that everybody thinks that this is going to be a bounce back game for Minnesota, and it just might not be. It really just might not be because this is a lot of points. Like you could have a bounce back game laying 6 and you win by 10 and you had a great bounce back game, but 14.5. I'm not picking all these games. I'm not picking the favorite in all these games. So.
I want to actually pull up how good the Timberwolves are as home favorites because I'm not sure how good they actually are. Yeah, they're 8-7-2. Like they're not actually that great ATS as a home favorite. So I feel like they thrive more in the underdog role.
It's too many. I think it's too many.
I think it's too many too.
All right. Charlotte. It's a blind. And sometimes you just got to have a gut feeling about Charlotte. And
I blindly took Detroit plus the points against Minnesota last week. It worked out. I don't trust teams that have offensive issues to win by 15 plus points. I just don't trust them enough.
That's why I'm on under too. I feel like I'm on a lot of unders today. How many unders do I like? This under, this under, this under, this under.
I think you like all unders.
I'm kind of torn between. Because Santos. Yeah, I'm on all under so far.
Holy crap. I thought you were on.
Wow, yeah, because I don't think San Antonio is going to score. Dang, that's crazy. Just thought about that. All right, Let me look ahead, see what I like for it. All right, so I'm on under here. Player props, anything?
Who do you think's going to step up if LaMelo's out? Just take Rozier props blindly and hope for the best?
I don't think there's a
Assuming
situation
LaMelo doesn't
where,
play.
yeah, I was about to say I haven't even thought of a situation where LaMelo doesn't play, so I can't even tell you right now. Like I really have not even thought of a situation where LaMelo doesn't play tonight.
That's an ankle issue. So
Just
we'll see
just
where
give
we
me
go.
Rudy Gobert.
I mean, to be fair, LaMelo did miss the back-to-back game on Saturday, so he should be playing in this game. That's the whole
Mhm.
purpose of sitting out a back-to-back game, so you play the next time out. So I think he's going to play. Bridges, maybe? Like, I'm trying to think of who's going to rebound for this team. Because Richards is questionable. You have
Right,
to
Rudy
battle with
Gobert
Gobert and
over
Towns on the
12 and a half.
boards.
If he doesn't
I'm
cover
never
12 and a
taking
half, he's
Gobert
a bum.
rebounds because I can't stand that guy, but
You're
Bridges
right.
rebounds is tempting for
But
me.
if he can't cover 12 and a half, like he averages, how much does he average against this team? Last few games, Rudy Gobert versus this team. He had 12, 10, 17, 19, 21, 12, 15, 13, 19, 18, 17.
So you like the over.
So just Minnesota. It is Rudy Gobert. You made a good point
I'm
when
just
you just
tired of
point out it's Rudy Gobert.
I've given up on Gobert rebounds. I've tried too many times.
All right,
It's like you and Bam.
if somebody has not given up on Rudy Gobert, like many members of this show, then you should absolutely take Rudy Gobert props today. But if you
If you
have,
expect garbage
don't do
time in
it.
this game, I like Nas Reed props. I think Reed off the bench has a good game. But I'm probably looking at Miles Bridges rebounds because he plays power forward. Richards might not play. Somebody's going to have to rebound the ball. I'm going to lean to Miles Bridges.
Okay. Let's see. All right, yeah. My only note was like Rudy Gobert could potentially have 20 rebounds in this game. Like pretty potentially have 20 rebounds in this game. And that's the side that I would want to be on. Some else Rudy Gobert rebound prop and just collect money there because dog, if you really don't dominate this game in rebounds, like that's really ridiculous. But hey, it is you're right. You're very much right. It is Rudy Gobert. The Boston Celtics are on the road, going to play the Dallas Mavericks. Boston opened up -3.5, currently sitting at -3. Dallas, what's this? No, 239.5 is the total. Injury report. Boston, Drew Holiday's TBD. And for the Mavericks, you have Josh Green not on the injury report. Dante Exum is doubtful, and Seth Curry is questionable.
Fun game. Just on TV? No, of course it's not on TV. Why would they put the fun game on TV? Of course.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, 2 games are Spurs, Sixers, and Hawks Kings. Congratulations. All right, way to give us the great games. Okay, cool.
All right, so what was it? Friday? Was it Friday? Or was it? What day was
It was
it
Friday.
where we were
They lost to Denver.
handicapping?
It was Friday.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Dallas, Boston. I know I'm not taking Boston, but like Dallas lost to the Lakers. That's what I was talking about. And it's kind of the up and down of this Dallas team of just kind of winning a game, losing a game, winning a game, losing a game, and not really getting on an extreme heater as of late. Lost to Memphis, won against the Knicks, lost to the Pelicans, won against the Pelicans, lost to the Lakers. The pattern says that it's going to be a win today, so of course you need to go Dallas +3.
I'm going to take Dallas in this game. Boston, I probably would have taken if this was the immediate game after losing at home to Denver, but they played yesterday. They almost blew a 20-point lead to Houston. That game was close. They won the game, but a lot of guys played a lot of minutes because they were unable to blow them out. And now Holiday's questionable. We'll see if Boston sits some guys. I don't know if Porzingis is going to play back-to-backs. He's been injured half the year, so maybe they're going to be creative with the injury report. We'll see what happens. I believe Jaylen Brown had a triple-double in that game, despite shooting relatively terribly from the floor. But he had a triple-double. I'm going to lean to Dallas. It's a good spot for them. They haven't played since the 17th, which is nuts. You have a team on a back-to-back against a team that hasn't played in 4 days. Like
that's really what it was for me. Like that's what it is for me. It's the rest of Spanish.
Yeah, so I'm going to lean to Dallas here. This line's short for a reason for me.
Spanish,
I would lean to Boston if they didn't play yesterday, but they did, and I think they might sit some guys. So I'm going to lean to Dallas in the spot.
Disparity is the word I was looking
for.
Disparity. Rest disparity between these two teams. This is the spot we should bet Dallas. We should bet Dallas tonight.
I think they win the game.
I know I naturally just fade this team, but I'm gonna bet Dallas today. Dallas is gonna get this win. The rest disparity is massive. You talk about And two put it in the chat. Non-conference game, Celtics back to back. Looking ahead for the Celtics. I think that really more. And they're looking ahead to that Miami game, but really, it's really more here of I just don't think anybody's going to stop Luka. And if you have a Kyrie Irving in this game that is playing aggressive alongside with Luka, I don't think that they're going to have enough scoring to keep up with that. I really
And if
don't. I
Holiday's
don't
going to
think they're
sit,
having enough
then
scoring.
have fun watching Pritchard try to guard the guy. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably
like
not going to be fun.
and the options, and I kind of, like I said, Dallas is really an up and down team, man. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like one day they're really good, one day they're really bad, and that Lakers loss might be enough to jolt something in them and have a really good performance against this Boston team, one of the best team in the league coming into your crib. So Dallas is a dog here at home. I like the spot.
Yeah, I'd probably consider some type of parlay, a same game parlay if you want to take maybe Luka 35 or Kyrie 25 and a win, something like that. But I think Kyrie and Luka show out tonight.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Over under 239.5 player props. Anything else left for this one?
I like the over. I'm not taking an under with Dallas, and with Holiday potentially not playing, I don't trust the defense for Boston either. So I think you're looking at the stars showing up in this game. I think you're looking at what can be. I'm trying to think if I want to go for Tatum or Brown, because Brown had a triple double, but he once again did not shoot the ball particularly well from the floor. So I am wondering if he's going to be more aggressive tonight. Yeah, he was 6 of 14, so I guess he shot the ball okay. But
so what you have going for you is the fact that Dallas has zero rim protection at all. And
yeah,
if
pretty much.
Jaylen Brown's going to do anything, he's going to get to the fucking rim.
Yeah.
Like, if he's going to do anything at all, he's going to
Tatum
get
went
inside the
4
paint and he's going to get to the
17
rim.
last night, though. 4 for 17 last night. I got to assume Tatum bounces back. I'm going to go back to Derek White, though, because if Holiday does not play, the amount of boost that White is going to get for either assists or for points or for just overall minutes, I got to like White props. So I'll probably be on White points and assists, assuming Holiday doesn't play.
If I had to pick somebody, I'm probably rolling with Jaylen Brown after that game. I mean, yeah, I'm rolling with Jaylen Brown. I think this is a spot. I'm taking him against somebody that doesn't have rim protection, and he's just going to constantly just get into the paint. A whole bunch of easy layups for Jaylen Brown. So if I had to pick somebody, I'd probably pick him. All right. Next game on the slate. Let's see. Where are we at? Where's my? Whoa.
We got 2 games left. You have the Suns
Yeah,
game
there
and
we
you have
go.
the Kings game.
All right. Phoenix Suns at home, welcoming the Chicago Bulls. Suns open up -5.5. Currently -5. 228.5 is the total. Andre Drummond is probable. Patrick Williams is probable. Zach LaVine is injured with that ankle. I didn't mean to laugh like when I had seen the news come across because I wasn't watching the game when it happened. I just saw the news pop up on the phone.
It means one thing, by the way, that LaVine is out again. It means one thing, which I'm sure we'll mention in a second, but it means one thing.
Torrey Craig, he's out as well. Bobo, TBD. Hey, man. Suns been playing better.
They have. They've won, 5 straight now, I think?
Yeah.
They had a close game against Indiana with no Halliburton yesterday, but they still won the game.
Book gave you 52 in 3 quarters. And then KD had 40 last night.
That's what I was waiting for. There were like a couple weeks in there where it felt like none of them were having big games, and you're just wondering, like, why have none of you dropped 35 plus recently? It was kind of a weird ending to that game against Indiana, which worked out. Durant had 40, and then Beal just froze him out for the last 4 minutes of regulation. Beal took every shot at the end of regulation, and it all went in. Like, he went towards the rim every time. They couldn't guard him, so I guess it was based on matchups and strategy. But Durant had 40 and was just chilling on the wing. And Beal basically just ended the game himself, which I thought was pretty interesting. But point is, Phoenix has been good. I have to give them props for kind of figuring it out. Their schedule's been a bit easy, but they did kill the Pelicans. So I got to give them props there. But yeah, Chicago's traveling. They've been bad on the road. We've seen them play better without LaVine this season, but the Suns are on a back-to-back. So I'll let you go first.
I'll take the Suns, man. I wanted to sell myself on the LaVine's not playing on the road. I'm gonna take the Bulls, and this is gonna be some kind of troll angle of the Suns. But really, the Suns have to beat themselves not to beat the Chicago team right now, man. They really have to beat themselves.
It fits the Bulls narrative though so well if they come out and win this
If they win this game, I know, but I can't pick them. I can't.
It's fair.
I can't pick them. I'm just gonna watch this one from afar and kind of laugh and at the Suns if they lose the game. But like honestly, truly, like I really don't know how the Bulls could consistently stop all these scoring options while we're at this point of the season where everybody's hot.
Yeah.
Like everybody's hitting now. Like that's where the issue was for this Suns team in the offense early on is that you had a whole bunch of people that were coming back from injury that were trying to get back in game shape, get back in the rhythm of the season, and then injuries would pull one person in the lineup, one person out the lineup, one person in the lineup, one person out the lineup. But now they finally are starting to build that continuity and people are starting to get in game shape and get comfortable shooting the basketball again. I just don't know how Chicago's going to stop that like consistently over the course of 4 quarters. I feel like I got to take the Suns here.
I think I'm going to agree with you. I just think they have too many weapons, at least based on comparison. But the main prop or the angle that I was alluding to when I mentioned that Levine was out is Kobe White. We're bringing it back. Kobe White's finally able to thrive again because Levine's not there. So we're going to go back to Kobe White. That run made us some money. Then he struggled down the stretch right before Levine came back because he was injured. And then it seems like he's healthy again. But I like the PRA. He's gone over this number in 6 of the last 10 games without Levine. And I know the Phoenix is not a great defensive team. And they're on a back-to-back. But you can get Kobe White PRA at about 29.5. And without Levine, he tended to fly over this number. So I think he's in line to have the ball more. I think he's in line to capitalize on a pretty weak team, at least defensively, that's on a back-to-back. Give me Kobe White props.
I do notice the reverse line movement in this game. I do like Two's thought of if one of the big 3 sits, and that wouldn't be foreign if they said I'm sitting Beal or I'm sitting KD.
Oh, we're calling it a big 3 now? Based on
hey, bro,
contracts, I guess. Hey,
man, I don't know, bro. They really been shooting the light side of the ball recently.
Just saying, big 3. Okay, for contracts, maybe, but I don't consider Beal to be part of a 3. But sure, it's a big 2, 2.5.
All right, childish.
Beal plays half the season. I can't put him in a big 3.
Don't bet this. If you bet this, don't bet this. Don't bet this.
I'm not going to, but Kobe White's my main lean in that spot.
Because Chicago could be really, really annoying today. They really could. All right, 228.5 is total.
I think I'm going to lean under back to back. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird game, but I'm hoping the Bulls show up defensively.
I really don't like this game.
I don't either.
I like Kobe White. I like your Kobe White props though. I really do like that.
Kobe White's done well for us with Levine out of the lineup, so I'm going to go back to it.
Anything else that I like?
Any rebound?
I just don't have a good feel for the game, so I don't have any feel for the props for.
Any thoughts between like the Vucevic and Nurkic matchup?
Vucevic at 17.5. I kind of lean over there with it's just more of the all right, now Zach's gone, not taking, excess amount of shots. It opens up for everybody else. I feel way better about Kobe White and Vucevic than I do DeRozan.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm trying to think of which rebounding player I like for Chicago because I'm assuming Vucevic is just going to stand at the 3-point line because Nurkic is bigger than him and just going to drag Nurkic out of the paint, right? I mean, isn't that how that's going to go? Bunch of pick and rolls, try to get White downhill.
So what, KD?
Potentially. I think there's some rebounds to be had in this game. It's kind of why I mentioned Kobe White PRA. I think that he can be a sneaky rebound guy in this game. But, I mean, yeah, White 4.5 plus money. That's interesting. Nurkic is at 12.5 though, which I don't know. Maybe Grayson Allen is at 3.5. It's gone over in 4 of the last 5.
That feels like a nice little SGP opportunity for you.
I mean, Grayson Allen, by the way, in the first meeting this season against the Bulls, had 8 rebounds. 8? His number's 3.5. Yeah, I'll take the over for Grayson Allen rebounds. That line's pretty low.
I like that logic. KD's at 6.5. Not bad. Yeah, I like it. All right.
Once again, 8 in the first meeting, 3.5. Yeah, I'll take the over on that.
Yeah, I don't feel good about that game at all. I don't, to be honest. All right, last game of the slate. Atlanta Hawks. Darling Atlanta Hawks. It feels good when you get a team that's as bad as the Hawks are ATS and you cash a prop play on them actually covering a game. Shout out to the Miami Heat, man. Atlanta Hawks on the road going to play the Sacramento Kings. Kings are laying 8, open up at 8, stay true at 8. 237.5 is total injury report here for these two teams. And we have Trae Young, who is out via the concussion protocol. Wesley Matthews out, no DeAndre Hunter still. And what's that? Sasha Vencikov, questionable for the Kings. So
I feel like it's obvious where we're going with this, but
bro, I don't know, bro. I really hate the Kings.
I'm not laying 7.5 with Sacramento. It's the same logic I had for the Raptors game. Of course, these teams.
So do we just keep fate? So we just going to keep fate in this team with Trae Young out? We're just going to keep backing him with Trae Young out. I mean,
yeah. Why would I not do that? They beat Miami outright. We were all over it over the weekend.
And then they had their letdown. They had their letdown afterwards against Cleveland. Good. Okay.
What have the Kings done? Like you keep waiting for the bounce back spot for Sacramento.
It hasn't been happen. I really can't trust the Kings.
I mean, you're looking at the Philly game, they get buried. Okay. Play Milwaukee, you lose on a Dame buzzer beater. Okay, you figure maybe they'll come back from that one. Play Phoenix, blow a 22-point lead on the road in the final 6 minutes. You're like, okay, now they're going to bounce back. They have a home game against the Pacers with no Halliburton, and you trail wire to wire. What are you, serious? Like, no, I can't lay 7.5 with this team. I got to lean Atlanta.
Sacramento.
If I don't trust either team, I'm taking the points. That was the logic I had for the Raptors game. So just give me the 7.5.
Sacramento did get the win in Atlanta, 117-110. Great bounce back spot. I'm just kind of with the Trae Young's out. Let's just keep backing this DeJounte Murray-led team. Yeah, like let's just keep backing this.
Might be Levine 2.0. Maybe the team steps up without their best player.
I think this is absolutely hilarious. All right, Atlanta again, +8. Sprinkle on the money line for Atlanta. Because, I mean, why not? Like, everybody else is going to Sacramento and beating them. Why can't Atlanta? Everybody else. So disappointing. Such a disappointing Sacramento Kings team, man. So disappointing. All right. 237.5 is the total. Player props. Anything else you want to add?
I think I have to link to the over. I mean, it's kind of tricky, though, because the last couple of games, Atlanta's actually been pretty low scoring. But the Kings don't guard anybody. So I might actually lean under.
I actually feel way more confident about the under.
I'm actually leaning under here. I didn't think I was going to, but the more I'm looking at the last couple games, I think that this total's a bit high.
Look at the last 10 games for both teams. You have 3-7 for the Atlanta Hawks towards the over, so 7-3 to the under. 4-6 for the Sacramento Kings. Neither team really. And one, they get a lot of high totals as well. So you got to add that into the occasion. I think that with Trae Young out, they look a little bit better defensively. I'm sorry. Hate to say it. They look a little bit better defensively. Look at these games. They gave up, that 116 to the Cavs, but then you have the 108 against the Heat. You have the 104 against the Orlando Magic. You have the 99 against Spurs. Looks a lot better. Like they really woke up after getting killed by Washington, and then Trae Young went out, and it was just all systems go for this team. So I'd take Atlanta. Give me a Kings team total under. Kings team total under.
Any props you want to talk about?
Props. Man, that DeJounte double-double in a win went crazy in Miami. I kind of want to be back on that wave again.
I mean, every DeJounte prop is boosted, but it has to be because he had a double-double and he carried them to a win against Miami. So it makes sense. Like you can't really go against the logic behind it. Question is, do you want to chase the potential inflated numbers? I might want to. I'm just saying.
I like Sabonis. I think Sabonis still can score because Atlanta can't stop anything inside the paint. So I think Sabonis will still have a game, but it's really DeJounte or bust for me at this point. Like I'm kind of all bought into the DeJounte is really playing for his next gig role, and he's hooping. I got that double for DeJounte at like what was it? I gotta find it. It was like 4-1
before Trae got ruled out or after.
I think it was after.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was before or after.
It's a great deal.
But
He flew over.
So I put a parlay together. Matter of fact, where's that parlay at? It didn't hit, unfortunately. But let me show you how close I was to hitting this parlay. On that Friday, I put together that double for DeJounte. I put that 35 plus because we were talking big about Joel Embiid that day. I put that 35 plus for Joel Embiid up there. And then, I went with the Jokic 30 plus triple double, and Jokic fell one short of the assist.
Pain. What was the payout on that, though? What was the plus?
Let me find the it was I think it was like 500. Where's this thing at?
That'd be a nice payday, though. Got a couple you got a double.
It was enough. It was enough where I was pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Because and I was like looking for a stat correction because they be doing it sometimes and throwing out those stat corrections.
It never goes in your favor. It's always against.
Never does. Never goes in your favor. All right. Let me see here. Let me find it.
While you pull that up, looking at other props, I'm on Barnes unders. I think that he's a bad basketball player. I've said it for about a year at this point. To go through Barnes' numbers, by the way, his points are at 8.5. His points and rebounds are at 11.5. He's gone under just to go through the points and rebounds. He's gone under this number in 6 of the last 7. Played against the Hawks back earlier this year on, let me just find it. Played against the Hawks on December 29th. Can I interest you in 2.0 rebounds in 11 minutes? 2. Yeah, give me the under on Barnes. He sucks. I've mentioned it. It's been cashing easily. I'll keep taking the Barnes unders until he gets traded. Just give it to me. At least Herter had a good game the other night. He had like 30. Barnes is just collecting a paycheck at this point. He doesn't do anything for the team.
50-1. 51-1.
Okay.
So
that would
DeJounte was plus 270 for that double. He's currently 165. I know. So it was DeJounte plus 270, and B was plus 115 for the 35, and then it was plus 561 for the 30-point triple double by Jokic in the Boston Celtics game. You know what? And something told me to just take the 30 in the win, but I was like, 20-0 at home. I gave them a slightly enough credit. And that's what happens when you don't buy all the way into Boston fucking things up. Like, that's exactly what happens. You lose plays like that. So if you don't learn the lesson from me, learn it from me. Just don't take Boston. Ever. It's no good. Don't even trust them. They always assume that they're going to lose every game. All right, man. I'm about to get us out of here. I'm sorry. We're rambling at this point. Lock, dog, underdog for my lock.
Couple choices. You going with one of these unders since you like basically unders on the entire card?
Yeah, I really do. I really probably should. It would be a nice matchup. I really do kind of want to fade Boston today.
That was the only over we had that we agreed on was the Celtics and Mavericks game. That was the only over that I think you had on the entire show.
I'm going under in Memphis and Toronto, man. I really don't understand how either one of those teams are going to consistently put up points. Like, I understand Toronto could be a flamethrower at times, but this Memphis team, defensively, they actually haven't fallen by the wayside. Like, they're not one of the worst teams in the league defensively, even with all these outs. And Toronto is just, I don't know. Like, maybe they be efficient, maybe not. I know Memphis isn't going to score. 225.5 feels like slightly a lot of points. So, yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and go with that Memphis and Toronto under in that porta potty game.
Okay.
Porta potty game. All right. For my dog, it's either Dallas or Atlanta.
You can have fun with it and do a little like.
So if I pick, last time I didn't pick Atlanta and it didn't go my way. If I pick Atlanta this time, does that mean it's not going to go my way, or is that supposed to be the logic of backing Atlanta this time because I missed it last time?
We'll find out after the game. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, hold on. What's the price on Dallas? Is it? Oh no,
it's going to be relatively cheap because they're getting 3, so it's probably like plus 140, plus 150.
It's plus 125.
Okay, never mind. I was overselling. Atlanta's going to be in probably the 2-to-1 range.
It's 275. It's 275.
Yeah,
Are we committing to how bad this Sacramento team is?
I've been committed to this bit for 2 months.
Are we being hard?
Everyone's just realizing it.
But seriously, they're 23-18. Are we being hard on them? Nah.
The one thing that would scare me off, by the way, with Atlanta is the fact that D'Lo and Rui were crying on the Lakers bench last night, and they're rumored to get DeJounte Murray. Is there a chance he gets traded before the game today?
What?
There's been rumors. Just saying,
Well,
it's not a
that's how
coincidence.
business
D'Lo's
go.
crying on the bench while they're up 30 against the Trailblazers last night. I think he's gone. Question is, does he get traded before the game tonight? He might. Just a thought. He might. There's a chance that DeJounte gets traded before the game.
All right, man. Let's find some form of Luka in the Mavericks.
I'm not exaggerating, by the way. Look at the video. There's like D'Lo and Rui that are like half crying on the bench last night. Like I think they realize that they're probably leaving. The GM is shipping them out of town, so they might be gone.
35 for Luka?
Sure. If we think Dallas wins and we think that they go crazy, then I think that Luka's probably going to go for a massive game.
I'm trying to think either 35 or the triple-double. Yeah, let's just go with the 35. All right. 35 and Dallas to win, 3-1.
All right. So for my lock, I think I am going to go to the obscure player prop. I had the Embiid under assist last time out and it worked out. I really like this Grayson Allen play. I like the over 3.5 rebounds for him in this game. I see about minus 130. He's been really good at rebounding the ball recently. He's gone over this number in 4 of the last 5, gone over in 6 of the last 9. He had 8 rebounds in the first game against the Bulls. Played 37 minutes in that first meeting. Maybe the Suns bench some guys because they're on a back-to-back, but with Vucevic being a decent outside shooter, or at least he thinks he is in his own head, that might pull Nurkic away from the basket, leave some more chances for Grayson. But Grayson's been good for that team, and I think that his rebounding number is too low for a guy, once again, that had 8 rebounds in the first meeting of the season. So give me Grayson over 3.5 rebounds at minus 130 as my lock. For my dog, I got a couple options here. You know what? I think I am going to go to... I thought about taking a Harrison Barnes alt under just to be an absolute troll if I wanted to do it. Question is, do I want to actually do it? Probably not, but it is a lot of fun. I think I'm going to go Dallas money line. I just think at the end of the day, I think that it's a good spot for Dallas. They haven't played in a couple days. Boston's on a back-to-back with a competitive game. They might sit some guys. It wouldn't shock me if energy-wise they kind of no-show it. Give me Dallas a plus 130 on the money line as my dog. I just think it's a good spot.
Dang, you just wanted just the basic money line? No.
Yeah, I want to play it simple. Because I think there's a work. As you said, Luka maybe goes for 35, maybe has a triple-double. Maybe Kyrie, because he hates Boston, goes for 30 because he used to play for that team, goes for 35. Who knows? Couple ways Boston can lose this game. I'm going to go ahead and go with just the money line. I'll play it simple.
All right. Anything else to repeat before we get up out of here?
No, not really. Once again, keep an eye out for some trades. Maybe DeJounte gets traded. So you might want to wait on that Hawks money line play. He might actually get traded.
Are you waiting on the betting the Hawks every day until right before the game? Like, oh, he's still there? Okay.
Maybe it's the fact that there was some crying involved attached to it, where maybe D'Lo heard through the tea leaves, like, oh, you might be gone within 24 hours. This might be your last game with the team.
Like, I mean, he is in California, bro. He's in California right now.
Just saying, it makes sense. So I'd wait and see how that goes.
Who called by Scott that the trade is going to come in today before the game starts?
I said it might.
All right.
It's the late game. They play at like 10 o'clock. They got a couple
extra
hours to get that
and you know what? It's so plausible. It's so plausible because he's in Sacramento. Like, it's so plausible. Yeah. So at this point, and I think they on a road trip on that side of the coast.
If they play the Clippers or the Lakers next game, I'm going to laugh really hard. But I actually don't know who the Hawks are playing.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's Gold. Yeah, they have Golden State.
Is that at home or is that in Golden State?
No, it's in Golden State. So they'll be there for the next couple of days. It's Golden State on Wednesday.
D'Lo's 100% getting traded in the next like 3 days. Okay, I didn't realize they were in the middle of a California trade.
So is DeJounte Murray leaving the state of California? We're gonna get on Cut. Make sure you get on Cut, KUTT.com, promo code SGPN for that 10%. We're gonna get some odds. Will DeJounte Murray leave the state of California over the next 3 days? We say no. All right. 81 people in the stream. Make sure you like the video on the way out.
Shout out to Kobe.
Odds for that?
81. Shout out to Kobe.
For that. Yeah, 81. Shout out to Kobe. Shout out to Jalen Rose. Everybody shouts out to Kobe. Shout out to Jalen Rose for the 81 too. We needed your help as much as we needed Kobe to get that 81. All right. Make sure you like the video and the stream on the way out. Everybody else that's listening via podcast, make sure you give us a 5-star rating review. And make sure you buy merch, store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com, 15% off. Promo code playoffs. Buy some NBA Gambling Podcast merch. Please make sure you do that. And with that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast, just going to end like this. We are out of here.